Well, for every film nominated for an Oscar this year, there's another one that got snubbed. But this year's Passed Over movies got WSJ's Chris Farley wondering, does the Academy have a problem recognizing smaller movies about real people? Chris is back with his take. Hi again.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. All right, so what makes you think that the Academy is overlooking some of these smaller flicks?
Well, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes and some of the other movie aggregation sites, you can see that Fruitvale Station, Is the Warmest Color, both got great reviews, and yet got passed over by the Oscars. Same thing with Before Midnight. These are some of the most acclaimed films of the year. Consensus of critics love them. Our own Joe Morgenstern loved the performances in these films, and yet they were ignored. Now, part of the reason is bureaucratic. The people behind Is the Warmest Color didn't get their act together, and so did not qualify for the best foreign language film. Yet the actresses could have been nominated. Before Midnight got another nomination for writing, but didn't get nominated for the terrific performances that were in it. And I think Fruitvale Station dealt with a very difficult subject, race, and focusing on an individual person. It's mysterious why that didn't get nominated, because Michael B. Jordan was one of the most acclaimed performances of the whole year.
Well, Fruitvale Station is the most interesting to me on this list because it's, of course, about the young man who was killed he was killed by an officer in Oakland, California. This was a huge racial issue there. I mean, do you think the Academy just kind of wants to shy away from this controversy?
Well, part of the problem is that it was released earlier in the year. Part of the problem, it does deal with a difficult subject that maybe people weren't prepared to grapple with. And if that's so, that's a shame. I know that Hollywood wants to compete with video games and streaming entertainment, so they're putting on big 3D spectaculars that you can't see at home. But at the heart of the movies really are small performances, like small films like this, that are about real people, like we see in Is the Warmest Color, Fruitvale Station, Before Midnight. If the movies can't tackle these kinds of stories, if they don't want to tackle these kinds of stories and give them awards, why go to the movies? You might as well stay home and watch Orange is the New Black.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you there. Chris Farley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.